Ha 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 ha. Right, okay. What can I say about that? Well, what can I say about that was simply, number one, I'm glad I never went, because that would be an expensive day out from Scotland to London. That's the only positive out of that whole debacle. For us to concede 3 goals in the first 20 minutes is just ridiculous. The worst thing about it is, and this is the worst thing about it, is that under a previous manager we used to have, I've seen us come back from that because they scored early enough in the match for us to do something, like maybe a goal before half time or 2 goals for half time. They were 3-0 up in 20 minutes, just gave us a massive opportunity to still make something out of that. You know, they never like scored the 3 goals, you know, towards the end of the night. And that's the worst thing about us, because when we went 3-0 down, I just thought, you know what, we're not going to win this match. After 20 minutes to admit that you were already out the game because you knew that your current manager would not be able to turn it around. That's a horrible admission to have to make. You look at that and you look at how can you have so many players that have such a bad game at the same time? You know, how come this happened on a frequent basis? You know, it was, you know, our right back was poor, our left back was poor, our defence was poor, our midfield was poor. I kid you not, over the 90 minutes, the only player who really looked like he was trying to do something was Martial at the front. He was consistently probably our best player, honestly. Even like, bizarrely, Chris Smalling, our defender, was actually trying to go up and try and orchestrate an attack. To me, his substitutions are really odd. I don't know why Schneiderlin never came on. I don't know why Wilson never came on earlier. I have to point a couple of players who still, I've said this time and time again, Memphis, I'm hoping he comes good, but to me, he's a total enigma. I don't get it, and I do not get why he's starting all the time. Why is he starting all the time? What's he proved so far that it is worth him starting all the time? I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. It's really hard for me, because if he was like consistently doing great things in a match, I could understand why he would play all the time, but I don't understand why he's starting all the time. Why is he not coming on to maybe like come on to maybe change the game, whereas, you know, I don't get it. You know, Luke Shaw goes off, a bad injury in the left back, and also that was stuffed. You know, Young isn't a left back. I've said this before. Blind isn't a centre back. It was probably our right back's worst game he's played had for us again. Bastion's probably worst game for us as well. Mata wasn't even in the game at all, as we know. I could just go on and on and on. But the worst offender, and for the fact that crucified on YNFA, because they took my video which I took of Rooney's miss at the last game. I don't know if you remember, you've probably seen it, but it's the one where it was an honest reaction to a bad miss by a professional footballer, where, you know, somebody's been paying such a vast amount of money and that's all he does for a living, is just white thing in the ball, hit the ball in between those other white things, back of the net. He should have scored, he didn't score, and my reaction was, as you all probably know, went, you fucking twat, because that's how I felt at the time, you know. But I see that even on a Monday night when I play football, and people I play football with do the same things. It's the same thing, it's just an honest reaction to it. But that went on YNFA, and a lot of people going, oh man, he's you know, referring to me because I had that reaction saying I was a tourist, I was a plastic fan, we don't need fans like this in Old Trafford, blah 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 blah, you know, Rooney this, Rooney, sorry, it was just a straightaway reaction to, you know, what I'm sure many people in the stadium thought at the time. Honestly, I've said this many times coming out of stadiums recently. I've said this, you know, past few seasons. Even funny of going back to probably the last season Fergie was in, I actually said, should we keep Rooney? that was last season before when we still had Rooney. I was actually saying at the time, should we keep him? Because I just thought that his levels had massively dipped, and I just thought, no, he's just not doing it anymore. Now we're flipping 2 seasons on from that, and now it's becoming even more obvious. He should be the person out of probably everybody who played today who shouldn't be getting an automatic start. Fergie used to do it. I remember when Fergie dropped Rooney, and next thing is he was flipping chomping at the bit and to get on the pitch, and he was putting him on like as a substitute to go out and prove Fergie wrong. That's what's going to happen to him. But unfortunately, Valhalla, his philosophy has decided that there's 2 people don't drop: the goalie and the captain. The captain has to be dropped, because honestly, there's nothing coming from him. He was awful today. Lots of people were awful, but he was, as a captain, truly awful. And so a lot of responsibility has to fall upon his shoulders, and the massive amount of money he's getting to take that responsibility. So that result has been coming. The funny thing about that result, actually, about the Arsenal game is that I think the second half they took the gas on the pedal and said, I tell you what, this game's finished, they're not coming back, just shore up the defence, we'll try and get them on the counter attack. And I think that was a different second half. I don't think our subs made a difference. I think the second half they took the foot off the pedal. I don't think it was anything that we did. We played it very well. For instance, we never scored in the second half, and we don't think we're even close to scoring in the second half. In fact, they were close, because I think that meta circus thing, I think the crossbar at the end, I think they had the better. I still think they had the better chances, and that's an Arsenal team who've been low in confidence recently, and a team that we've frequently beat. We haven't beaten them. So of course the worry is that what happens when we come against a decent team? Because Arsenal weren't a decent team. They've been poor, but potentially we're going to get a new. Well, we've seen what's happened in Europe against decent teams. So yeah, I don't know. Again, more questions and answers. I said this before, so don't. I'm just in my honest appraisal of this. But again, people must be waking up to the fact that there's major problems. And I have to say this yet again: is Memphis Depay. He is an enigma to me. He is. Somebody referred to him as the new Nani. Well, the old Nani used to be on the right. He's new left Nani. He is left Nani. I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I honestly, I keep on referring to this because I say it so many times. So, Depay shouldn't get a start. Rooney definitely shouldn't get a start. We need to sort out defence. We need to sort out the midfield. We need to sort out the attack. So guess what, boys and girls? We've got problems. Anyway, I'm now going to cook a Sunday roast and a house on wine and try to forget about my problems. Anyway, see you all the next match, which I actually think the next match I'm going to be at is going to be City at home. Oh my God, and I just hope that Aguero isn't in the form that he was yesterday, because otherwise we could be in for a massive hiding, but you never know. Also, we might just turn around for that match and we'll flip and win it and it's happy days again. I don't really know, but anyway, that's it, bye bye. Enjoy the rest of your nights. I'll try and make the most of mine. Catch you later.